People talk about the LaLaurie Mansion like it is some haunted tourist attraction. But what they do not understand is that some places are not haunted. Some places are cursed. That house is not just remembered for the horrors of the past. It is still alive. It watches. It waits. Clara and I were not there for thrills. We were following something caught on a ghost tour camera. A pale figure appeared in a hallway mirror. No one saw it in real time. But when they reviewed the footage, there it was, watching, and now it was our turn to watch it back. Before we dive in too far, if you are listening and you love stories that dig into the dark, the twisted, and the unexplained, take a second to like this video. Leave a comment telling me where you are listening from, and subscribe to Clara After Dark. You will not want to miss what is coming next. We entered through the servant's side door. The house felt wrong before we even stepped inside. It was not cold, not dusty, just heavy, like the air had weight. Clara paused and looked up the staircase. She did not say a word, just nodded for me to follow. We made our way up to the second floor where Madame LaLaurie had done her worst, where the walls had heard more screams than prayers. As soon as we passed the landing, the EMF reader in my hand started beeping like crazy. Clara spoke softly. Her voice felt swallowed by the hallway. She said we meant no harm, that we were here to listen. That always worked in the past. But the house responded with silence. A deep kind of silence that buzzes in your ears and makes your bones feel tight. Then we heard the footsteps above us. Slow, measured, walking with intent. We reached the attic stairs. Each step creaked under our weight. The EMF spiked again. When we opened the attic door, the temperature dropped. The air inside was freezing. There were no open windows, no vents, no reason. That is when Clara's flashlight went out. No warning, no flicker, just dead. She checked the batteries. They were fresh. I lifted my own flashlight and aimed it toward her. That is when I saw the woman. She stood behind Clara, close enough to whisper in her ear. Her dress was tattered and soaked at the hem. Her skin looked gray. Her eyes were empty sockets, and her mouth was smiling. Not like a person, like a mask, a crack splitting her face in two. Clara felt it. She froze and whispered that something was behind her. I told her not to move. She pulled the mirror pendant from her coat. The air grew thicker. The EMF screamed. Then the woman began to lean forward. Her mouth opened wider and wider until it looked like it could swallow Clara whole. Clara held the mirror up and the woman shrieked, a piercing sound that made my teeth ache. She vanished in a blink, gone. But the house did not let go, not even close. The walls began to weep, blood, real blood, oozing from the cracks in the wood, running down like tears. The attic door slammed shut behind us. We ran, but every hallway changed. Doors that had been open were now sealed. Windows were gone. The layout of the mansion kept shifting. We ended up back in the main foyer. Then came the whispers, soft at first. Dozens of voices speaking over one another. Some begging, some cursing, all of them trapped in the walls. Clara grabbed my arm and said we were not alone, that the one we saw was not the only thing here. She said we had invited something else in, something older. I asked her what she meant. Clara looked pale. Her voice shook. She said the woman was not the ghost. She was the key. And now the door had been opened. I asked what door, but I already knew. It was behind us, and it was breathing. I turned and saw it, crawling down the staircase. Its limbs were too long, too many joints. Its head twisted with every movement. No eyes, no face. Just a mouth that stretched from one side of its head to the other. Something black dripped from its teeth. It spoke, but not in words. In thoughts, a deep voice inside my skull, telling me I was already part of the house. that I had been claimed, that I had no name anymore. I dropped the flashlight. My legs would not move. Clara stepped in front of me and held up the mirror again. But this time, the light did nothing. The creature kept coming. I heard chains dragging on the floor, saw shadows on the ceiling. The house was alive now, feeding on us. Clara shouted something. I barely understood. She said it was not about light. It was about memory. That the house could only hold you if you forgot who you were. She told me to say my name over and over. I did. She shouted hers, Clara, Clara, Clara. Every time she said it, the creature flinched. Then she told me to remember where I was born. My first pet, my childhood room, anything that reminded me of life outside that house. The creature roared. It backed up the stairs. Smoke poured from the walls. The whispers turned to screams. Clara grabbed my hand and we ran. Every door slammed as we passed. The front door appeared again. This time it opened. We did not look back. Not once. We ran until we hit the street. The moment our feet touched the sidewalk, the house fell silent. The EMF reader shorted out in my pocket, burned from the inside. The screen cracked. We stood there for a long time, not speaking, not breathing. Then Clara looked at me and said the worst part, that we had not escaped. That once the house knows you, it follows you. She said some doors never really close, and some guests are never really uninvited. When I got back to my hotel that night, my phone had a new wallpaper. A photo of the LaLaurie attic. I never took that picture. And in the center of the frame, barely visible in the dark, was the woman, smiling. If you are still with me, thank you for listening to this story from Clara After Dark. If you felt a chill or held your breath along the way, do me a favor. Like the video, leave a comment telling me where you are watching from, share it with someone who loves the paranormal, and most importantly, subscribe, because there are more stories out there waiting to be told, and some of them are already at your door. This is Clara After Dark. Sleep tight, if you can.